Securing your data is essential, and encrypting your disk plays an important role in protecting sensitive information. Azure Disk Encryption offers a robust solution to encrypt both operating system and data disk for Windows and Linux virtual machines. Azure Disk Encryption leverages BitLocker for Windows and DEncrypt for Linux to encrypt the operating system and data disk. This ensures that the data at rest is protected by encrypting both the OS disk and data disk of your virtual machine. The encryption keys are securely stored in Azure Key Vault, ensuring that only the VM owner or authorized users can access the keys. This means that if someone downloads a VHD and attaches it to another VM without the necessary keys, the data remains unreadable. In this video, we will walk you through the process of configuring Azure Disk Encryption for Windows VM in Azure. Hello everyone, I hope you are all doing well. I'm Manhar and welcome back to MSFT Webcast. Before you get started, make sure you have an Azure subscription and a Windows virtual machine. Open your preferred web browser, navigate to portal.azure.com and sign in with your Azure account. Under Azure Services, click on Virtual Machines. This will open the Virtual Machines page. For this demo, I have created a Windows Server 2022 VM named AWS-VM02. In this example, we will encrypt this Windows virtual machine. On VM Overview page, expand Settings, then click on Disk. Server-side encryption is default offering. All of your Azure VM's managed disks are always encrypted by default when they are stored on underlying storage. This is encryption at rest by the Azure itself. SSE automatically encrypts data before storage and decrypts it during access. With platform managed key, all key management is handled by Azure. While SSE with PMK provides a high level of security for data at rest, it is not equivalent to full disk encryption. Full disk encryption is a method of encrypting an entire disk or volume, including the operating system and all data stored on the disk. It provides a high level of security than SSE with PMK. And this is the reason why we want to configure Azure Disk Encryption for Windows VM. On the top bar, select Additional Settings. Here you will see options for enabling encryption at host or Azure Disk Encryption. Keep in mind that encryption at host is available only when the virtual machine is deallocated. Select the disk to encrypt from the drop-down whether you want to encrypt only OS disk or both data and OS disk. In my case, it's only an OS disk. Scroll down to select a key vault and key for encryption. Since we haven't created the Azure Key Vault yet, we will create it here. If you have already created the Azure Key Vault and key, you can select them from here as well. Click on Create New. This will open the Create Key Vault wizard. Fill in the information needed to creating the vault. This will include the key vault name and region, pricing tier, days to retain deleted vaults, etc. The Azure subscription and resource group are already selected. Change them if required. Enter unique name for the key vault. Leave the other options at the default settings, then click Next. On this page, we can configure the access configuration for the new key vault. Under Resource Access, make sure to check the Azure Disk Encryption for volume encryption option. Leave the remaining settings at the default values. Click on Review plus Create button. Wait for the validation check to complete. Click Create to create the new Azure Key Vault. Deployment will take a few seconds. Please wait until it's complete. Once the Key Vault is created, it will be selected automatically. Next, we need to create a new key in the newly created Key Vault. Click on Create New. Enter a unique name for the key. In this example, I have given name Test AWS Key 01. If you are using Windows 11, Windows Server 2022 or a newer OS, make sure to select a key size of RSA 3072 or larger. If you select RSA 2048, you are likely to get an error. In this example, I'm going to select the key size to 4096. You can also configure the activation and expiration dates for this key. Make sure the Enable checkbox is selected. Click Create and wait for the confirmation message to appear. The key and version options have now been selected. Now we are ready to enable Azure Disk Encryption for this operating system disk. When you are ready, click Save to enable Azure Disk Encryption. Deployment will take a few seconds. Please wait until it's complete. After the disk settings are saved, the disk encryption status will show as SSE with PMK and ADE enabled. The deployment is completed successfully. Go to the Azure homepage. In the recent resources list, select AWS-VM02. Click on Disk. Check the encryption status of the OS disk. Verify that the disk encryption status shows as SSE with PMK and ADE enabled. This confirms that we have successfully configured Azure Disk Encryption for the existing Windows VM. Microsoft has recently announced that Azure Disk Encryption for virtual machines and virtual machine scale sets will be retired on September 15, 2028. New customers should use encryption at host for all new virtual machines. That's all for this video on how to encrypt an existing Windows virtual machine using the Azure portal. I hope you found this video helpful and informative. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos on Microsoft Azure and other Microsoft related topics. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day.